This week on Patriot Point, the Kentucky House of Representatives votes to approve every single thing that Andy Beshear has ever done to Kentucky. The Kentucky State Senate moves to replace Mitch McConnell as our senator. I bet the mainstream media isn't telling you about all of this. We're going to discuss all these things and a lot more on this week's Patriot Point. Stick around. Hello, Patriots, and welcome back to the channel. And I mean welcome back because for a lot of you, you haven't seen a Patriot Point now for about a month. The reason for that is YouTube is part of this cancel culture business, and they banned me for a month. Seems that they don't appreciate conservative messages or free speech. But we are back, and if you would like to catch up and find out what happened to all those weeks where I didn't see on YouTube, I opened up a new channel on a service called BitChute, which allows for free speech, and I've got the link in the description of this video. You can see it here on the screen as well. You can go there and see all the videos for the month that you missed. And because YouTube and Facebook and all these other big tech companies are continuing this cancel culture type of movement, which, as my dear saint and mother used to say, is just wicked as all get out, what we're going to do is, if you will send me an email, then I will put you on the notification list, and every time a new video comes out, I'll send you the email with the link, and we don't have to rely on YouTube. You can get the link to wherever I've got it. And this BitChute program, you don't have to register for anything. You don't have to download anything. You just click the button and it starts playing. Super simple, and I hope that you'll check that out. So make sure that you register for the notifications every time there's a new video. Now, let's start talking about some of the news that we've got going on this week. And first of all, with this whole cancel culture idea, wicked as all get out, let's talk about something that's been canceled in the Kentucky State Capitol. They have canceled the impeachment of Andy Beshear. Now, I know some of you, after hearing all of these things that he's done to the state for the last year, we've documented a lot of them. There's a lot of you right now probably saying, "What?" I know that's what I was saying when this decision came out. They issued a public statement. I read it about their decision. I do not agree with it. You don't have to agree with everybody, and I do not agree on this one. And here and some say, well, just give me a reason why. I want to give you a reason why. In fact, I will quickly give you 7 reasons why I disagree with this decision and 7 reasons why Andy Beshear should have been impeached. First of all, here about 2.5 weeks ago, the Kentucky State Auditor issued an official report. He audits the books and he says Andy Beshear's administration has broken both federal and state laws. Plural, both laws have been broken. What has been the consequence of that? Nothing. Then we had the Commissioner of Agriculture come out and make a public statement about that, and he confirmed, yes, laws, plural, have been broken. This fall, we had the Kentucky State Treasurer make an official report to the Kentucky Legislature, reporting that, yes, money has been misspent, laws have been broken by Andy Beshear. Then, of course, we have the court cases. We had a court that ruled that Andy Beshear broke the law when he issued the travel ban. We had another court said Andy Beshear broke the law when he tried to stop free speech and protest at the Capitol. We had another court saying Andy Beshear broke the law when he tried to ban church meetings. That's freedom of religion. Plus, he also broke the law when he said you're only allowed to have 8 people in your own house, violating the freedom of assembly. So you've got the auditor's report, the treasurer's report, the commissioner's report, the courts on the churches, on assembly, on travel, and on speech. So I'm going to have to give this decision not to impeach Andy Beshear 7 what? Not only has the Capitol decided we're not going to impeach Andy Beshear, they have gone to the extreme opposite side and have said we are going to put our stamp of approval on every single mandate, executive order that Andy Beshear has ever issued to Kentucky. Here, I'll just put it up for you. This is House Joint Resolution number 77. I want to point out, let me just read it for you here. They've got the whereases. Notice where they actually take action, starting in line 10. Be it resolved by the General Assembly of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1. The General Assembly hereby approves and ratifies all executive orders issued in response to the COVID-19 virus in full. Notice what it says. It says, we approve and we ratify all of them. Now, throughout 2020, we had the legislature saying, oh, hey, we sure don't like what Andy Beshear is doing to the state. We're going to rein him in. Does this sound like that they're not approving of it? In fact, it quite literally says, we approve all of his mandates. It doesn't say, except where he closed churches, except where he closed businesses. It says that we approve and ratify all of them. Well, I think that this is a horrible idea, and we'll be putting up, when we get the voting record on who voted yes and who voted no, we'll put up that record for you so you can keep that, and just remember that when it comes time for election season. And ask, why did you do this? It doesn't even give exemptions for different ones that they did not approve of. So just thought I'd point that out to you because it needs pointing out. Now, and let's talk about a few other things. They said, well, because we are reining the governor in with like Senate Bill 1. Did you notice that? Because Senate Bill 1 reins the governor in, we're going to approve everything he's ever done. Well, Senate Bill 1 and House Bill 1 is a part of a group of bills that the legislature passed to try to rein in the governor's powers. But you know what happened this week? We had one judge up there in Frankfurt, and he says, listen, I'm going to grant an injunction against 5 different laws that you have passed. What he's done is he says basically, these 5 laws you've passed to restrict the governor's power, none of those can go into effect. And they're not going to go into effect until there's a trial. And by the way, this is exactly what I said would happen months ago, back in January. I said the only chance that Kentucky has to stop the tyrannical control of Andy Beshear over this state is to remove the dictator himself. And if you don't, this is what will happen. And it's exactly what has been happening. The legislature will pass laws to restrict his power. The governor will veto those laws. The legislature will come in and override those vetoes. The governor will then take these things to court, and then the court will say, you know what, Mr. Governor, you're right. These laws don't go into effect, and then it'll be too late in the legislative year to write a new law because it is too late. There's only a week left, and they can't write new laws. They can only work on the ones they already have in the process right now. And you know what's going to happen? Andy Beshear is going to be able to run the state into the ground for another year without the legislature being able to do anything about it. It's all happening exactly the way that I said months ago. They canceled their only chance to get out of this tyranny and this debacle of government that we've been under through the tyrannical oppressions and mandates and executive orders of Andy Beshear, which, by the way, they are working on ratifying all of them. Just thought I'd throw that in. But before we get to some of the other bills, and we'll dive deep into those, let's take a break to do the legislative roundup. Let's start off with a good bill. This is House Bill number 95, HB 95. I hope that you'll call and you'll give your support for this. If you'd like to call on any of the things we're talking about, the number for the Kentucky Capitol is 800-372-7181. You can call the Capitol Message Center weekdays during normal business hours. And a good bill to call on is House Bill number 95. This puts a maximum, a cap, on prescription insulin here in Kentucky to $30 for a 30-day supply. Now, this is something that President Trump had actually put a cap on these insulin chargers because they had gone just crazy on this, but that's gone now because what's one of the very first things that Joe Biden did is he removed this maximum cap on prescription insulin. How's that supposed to help sick people? So this would be a very good bill, help people who need that in Kentucky, puts a cap on those prices for insulin. House Bill 95 I hope that you will lend your support to this very good bill. And then let's talk about this other big piece of news. It's not getting a lot of discussion in the mainstream media, and that is Senate Bill number 228. This was before the Kentucky State Senate this week, and it passed, and it's on its way to the House of Representatives, and this is how they intend to replace Mitch McConnell. Right now, under the law, Amendment number 17 of the United States Constitution says that if a senator is unable to fill out or to finish out their term as a senator, then whoever is the governor of the state gets to just appoint whoever the replacement senator is going to be for the remainder of that term, that whoever the senator was couldn't serve out. Well, I'll just let you know right now, Mitch McConnell is in very poor health. I know it. You now know it. Everybody in the Kentucky Capitol knows it. The governor knows it. The legislators know it. And they're all thinking, you know what? Mitch may not be able to serve out his term. And if that happens, Andy Besehar will just get to appoint a senator all on his own. And do you know who Andy Besehar will appoint as the Kentucky senator? He will appoint himself. Yes, this has happened before. Kentucky Governor Happy Chandler, this happened, and he appointed himself as the senator. Andy Besehar will do this. Seeing this coming down the pike and knowing Mitch probably isn't going to be able to serve out his full term, the Kentucky Senate said, all right, instead of the governor just appointing anybody he wants, let's say he has to appoint somebody from the party that the senator comes from. And the party will put up 3 names, and you can choose from any of those names. Now, the reasoning behind that is if the people of Kentucky have voted for a senator, they voted not just for that individual, but they voted for the policies and the party that that person represents. So that should be the policies and the party that Kentucky continues to have represent them in the United States Senate. And of course, the United States Senate right now is just on a hairpin turn of who has the majority. So this could make massive nationwide difference. So this has passed the Kentucky State Senate. It's on to the House of Representatives. The governor will veto this, but they have the votes and they can override him. We'll see what the House wants to do about this. If you think it's good, contact your representatives. Say, hey, this is great. If you don't think this is good, contact your representatives and say, this stinks, don't pass it. But whatever it is, let your voice be heard, because as long as the people are contacting the representatives and they are actually being a voice for what they're being contacted with, then our system is working. So the onus is on us to let them know what our voice is. Well, there's so much more going on. We don't have time to get into that. Make sure that you send me an email at lee.watts.kentucky@gmail.com to be put onto the new video notification list. And until next week, stand strong, breathe free, and I want to leave you with this little video I made about this cancel culture. We'll see you on Patriot Point next Friday morning.
They canceled your votes. They canceled your say. They canceled Dr. Seuss and have shunned him away. They canceled U.S. history. We'll rewrite it, they said. Why, those liberals even canceled Mr. Potato Head. They cancel your posts. No free speech for you. We'll decide what can be said. Yeah, the Nazis did that too. Biden canceled the pipeline by executive order. We're still using oil, but now it's from across the border. They canceled some people. Coke said be less white. That's incredibly racist, so I'll be drinking Pepsi tonight. They canceled your jobs. You'll work when I please. We'll give you a few hundred and send billions overseas. You pushers of fear, I ask you to please stop trying to cancel the air that we breathe. Complete power of the governor. On that he won't budge. They passed laws to stop it, but they were canceled by one judge. We must cancel this culture where free speech does lack. We need patriots to rise and take America